Alright, good morning. Well, if you're in the London session, my dentist appointment took a lot longer than I planned, so I'm gonna be doing a little bit London session today. I'm actually buying dollar CAD, but this is not exactly a 100%-ish trade. It's just intraday support, and the reason for that is because the other pairs are kinda in a mixed lap position too. Euro is down, Aussie is down, but the pound is up, and all the yen pairs are up. So this is very, very mixed.
So streaming at school night's release of the French manufacturing confidence report for March, again a reading of 108 expected versus a par of 112. 10 seconds. $106 for the manufacturing confidence reading, while business confidence 107. Production outlook at -2, while production outlook for own company at 4 reading. Again, to repeat, that's the French manufacturing confidence for March, below expectations at 106 versus prior of 112. The business confidence reading 107 versus expected 110 reading, a prior vision higher of 113. Just under 15 minutes time now to the top of the hour. So we'll see the start of equity trading in Europe for today. And before we start trading, I'll look ahead to the major events for today, where EU leaders will be meeting for a summit today and tomorrow, with President Biden joining the talks today for discussion on support for Ukraine, on strengthening the transatlantic response to Russia's aggression. So EU leaders are expected to agree on buying gas jointly going forward, although they are unlikely to go as far as banning energy imports from Russia. Also, EU and the US are likely to strike a deal, so the EU is going to buy more LNG. As well, today we do have the flash PMIs from Euro area, US and UK, among the first indicators that we've received since the war started. In the Euro area, expecting a notable dip, especially in manufacturing activity, given the renewed disruptions the Ukraine war has created for supply chains. In terms of speakers today, 2 ECB speakers, Elderson and Schnabel, as well as several Fed speakers, also on the wires. Particularly comments from the Fed will be of great interest, as recent comments by FOMC members highlighting the front-loading of rate hikes. As well, the Swiss National Bank is said to be leaving monetary policy unchanged at today's meeting. Meanwhile, expect a hostage shift, given the strong CPI prints over the past few months.
Pound yen shorter. Oh, wow. Oh, I see it. Okay.
Dombrovsky currently speaking that they are assessing scenarios of potential Russian gas disruption next winter.
Well, the pivot looks like a good target. Hey, it turned at my stop loss from yesterday.
$CAD.
Right, moment of truth, $CAD. Let's see if the viewer breaks.
CAD.
Yeah, the viewer is pretty much flat on gold. So it is on $CAD, so it has very little meaning.
This is a reminder. London market opening in 5. This is a reminder. London market opening in 5.
$CAD.
Yeah, if the VWAP is flat, it has very little meaning.
$CAD.
Well, there's no other sound. Oh, the bot is not running, sorry.
Order filled.
There we go.
$CAD.
Order filled.
The DAX didn't make it to the VWAP.
Order pending. Order pending.
It looks like the DAX took off without me, without retesting VWAP. And I'm about to get stopped out on dollar CAD. This was technically a sell signal anyway. I was just buying it because of this support here.
I can feel my body cold against the concrete, but I can't seem to get enough. My mind is fixed on what it wants. I just let you be.
Order filled.
Can be deceiving. Let you get the best of me. In bed with my worst enemy. This is a no-go. I just can't take hold. This is a danger zone. Back up and
Order filled.
this is a no-go. I just can't take hold. This is a danger zone. Back up and get me. So put your hand in mine. Follow me. Let me waste your time. Set up me. Do some stupid shit. Take a seat. Let me waste your time. So put your treat you like you're heaven. Thought that I knew better. Keep falling for your innocence. Acting like you're into me. I know this is
Order filled.
moving in slow motion. Trying to control my thoughts, but I can't stop our body talk. This is a no-go. I just can't take hold. This is a danger zone. Back up.
Order filled.
This is a no-go. I just can't take hold. This is a danger zone. Back up and get me. So put your hand in mine. Follow me. Let me waste your time. Set up me. Do some stupid shit.
Morning, Mario.
Let me waste your time. Set up me.
Right in time to see me get stopped out.
So we're 10 minutes away now till we start of the Eurozone PMIs, the preliminary readings for March, starting with France with the French manufacturing PMI, a reading of 55.1 expected versus a par of 57.2. Reuters with a range today of 51.0 to 56.5. For the services PMI, 55.0 expected versus par of 55.5. Again, range seen of 52.0 to 57.0. And finally, the composite reading from France, 54.3 expected for the prelim March reading, against par of 55.5, a range 51.0 to 56.2. So note here from HSBC this morning as they look to the French PMI, reminding us that composite rose to 55.0 in February, an improvement led by both the manufacturing sector and services. So expect PMI to fall back in March due to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, noting that manufacturing PMI could drop from 57.2 to 51 due to the jump in energy prices, as well as uncertainties on the global trade outlook. So penciling in a more limited decline for services as the pandemic-related restrictions have continued to be relaxed in March. As well, on the 14th of March, the vaccine health pass was suspended, except for hospitals, as well as mask wearing rules were materially eased.
This is probably gonna go straight up from here. Euro is starting to go down.
Well, comments coming through from the German economy minister that they will never make themselves so dependent on one energy supplier again and will diversify. Again, similar to reports from yesterday, but the German economy minister again just repeating this morning, not ready to impose an energy embargo on Russia. Three minutes ago now to release of the preliminary March reading for the French manufacturing services and composite PMIs, a drop expected for all three prints. So again, the manufacturing PMI 55.1 expected, services 55.0, while composite 54.5.
CAC.
1 minute to go now. 1 minute.
It's just expected to be a little bit lower.
Ten seconds. $54.8 for manufacturing, services at 57.4, composite 56.2 to beat the manufacturing PMI out of France 54. The PMI at 56.2,
Euro-dollar.
as first par 55.5. So looking to the full report here, they note that output growth hits an 8-month high despite manufacturing slowdown, as data collected between the 11th and 22nd of March.
Dollar index.
So overall, the report notes that the increased level of hesitancy being reported due to the war in Ukraine means risks to the economic outlook tilt further to the downside. At a time when inflationary risks are building, the economy could therefore be in course for a period of stagflation.
The numbers are not that much off, so there should be not much volatility. And the main numbers are in 15 minutes anyway. Oh, come on. I didn't move my limit orders for on the DAX for on the VWAP. The VWAP went up already on the volatility. Oh, come. That would have been instant profit, but yeah.
cable,
Oh, by the way, did you close the pound yen short? Didn't really test the VWAP.
Ten minutes away now to the bottom of the hour, and next up in the PMI release is Germany with its prelim March readings. For the manufacturing PMI reading of 55.8 expected versus prior 58.4, range of 50.0 to 57.5 seen according to Reuters. For the services PMI reading 53.8 expected versus prior 55.8, a range of 48.5 to 57.0 seen. And finally for composite PMI 53.7 expected versus prior 55.6, a range of 47.0 to 55.5 seen. Additionally, in central bank news, and we're looking to the Swiss National Bank at the bottom of the hour, widely expected to hold interest rates at its current levels this morning and take its cues from monetary policymakers in the neighbouring Eurozone. So economists are anticipating that the bank will leave both its benchmark policy rate and the sight deposit rate at their current level of minus 0.75%. Reminder, we do have a own SMB
Euro
preview
dollar.
written by European editor Eric Culp on our board, as well as our special reports page. They highlight a note here from TDS, noting that the SMB is willing to tolerate more FX strength in the very short term. That plus the Swiss franc safe haven appeal, alongside Switzerland's lower exposure to the terms of trade shock, means that Euro Swiss might start to fizzle out around 103, especially if the geopolitical tensions heat up again.
dollar,
Yeah, I'm not sure myself, so yeah, I feel you. Could just be opening volatility, taking some stops, including mine, by the way, and then go straight back up.
So as we look to the preliminary German PMIs at the bottom of the hour, note here from HSBC, they note after a promising start to the year, business sentiment in Germany will likely be severely hit by the escalation in Ukraine. At first glance, the manufacturing sector seems to be more directly affected through supply chain disruptions and higher input costs, also a cushioning effect for the headline PMI, via the inverse impact of supply, demand, delivery times, as well as the hoarding of intermediate good stocks similar to the beginning of the pandemic. Hence, they forecast an even larger drop in the more perception-driven headline service PMI from 55.8 to 45.5. For the manufacturing PMI, they expect to fall from 58.4 to 52.5.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right about the VWAP on the euro. That looks actually pretty. That means I'm gonna get stopped out of my dollar CAD cells too. It's gonna creep for 32 minutes and then London's gonna fuck it up. Oh, I bought it before I got stopped out on the buys, but I started to sell it actually. Let me show you. Bought it here, and then it held the VWAP, and I started to sell it when it broke back below, and here the VWAP. And when I got stopped out, I scaled in, but this scale in is probably too low. Also, while all that happened, I mapped this support here. Sorry, can I see it? This line here is new. I noticed that after I entered the position, so this could actually end up in a double loss. Because I was messing around with this trend line, I missed the entry on the DAX because my original entry was around here. And the VWAP went up, but I didn't move the limit order, so I did not got filled.
Now until the release of the preliminary March reading for the German services composite manufacturing PMIs. Starting with PMI again expected at 55.8, services 53.8, while composites at 53.7 expected according to Reuters. Additionally, at the bottom of the hour, we wait to hear from the S&P, expected to keep rates unchanged at minus 0.75%.
All right, find a hole.
Pound yen.
2 minutes till shit hits the fan. Meaning I get stopped out again. Oh, the DAX going up. Maybe buying a yen pair would be interesting. But, the only one that actually makes sense would be Aussie yen. Let's have a quick look. That actually looks pretty good. How about the Aussie dollar? Not sure, to be honest. Now I'm 4 pips late. Yeah, it's true, but only if you trade it in futures. Trading ASX as CFD is kinda difficult because the spread is terrible. Look, it moved like, when was the opening here? It moved 74 points and the spread is
1 minute to go now.
4. It's 5% spread of the whole move. Ten seconds. Again, reminder leaving with the German. 10 seconds.
57.6 for manufacturing, services at 55.0, while composite at 54.6, unchanged from the S&P as expected. Debate from the German sector, manufacturing PMI 57.6, expected better than the 56.0. Services PMI 55.0, again a beat from the expected 53.7, composite 54.6, better than the expected 53.8. Unchanged from the S&P as it notes it's retaining its expansionary monetary policy, noting that it's prepared to intervene in markets if needed. So overall, the S&P do note that the war in Ukraine has had an effect on the Swiss economy, above all via the strong increase in commodity prices. Then looking to the Swiss franc, remains highly valued and highly valued again if the Swiss franc, the S&P notes, as you see inflation for the year 2.1%.
Dollar index.
I should have just bought it. I was even went back to the VWAP and I didn't buy it. This is just opening volatility anyway.
PMIs note the output price inflation hitting a new record high in March, while growth eases as the war in Ukraine impacts supply chains and demand. So again, they looked to the German inflationary pressures, already high, have been exacerbated by the war in Ukraine, resurging commodity prices driving an unprecedented increase in businesses' input costs. So as companies did look to pass on higher costs, the rate of inflation and average charges for goods and services hit a new record high in Germany, signaling a broad-based intensification of price pressures in the economy, as data was collected between the 11th and 22nd of March.
Well, usually that means there is volume, on the buy side, but in this case, because this was right at the opening, I don't think this means anything. I hope it means the US dollar goes down, but this is just my bias. But technically speaking, like if something like that happened and it's being rejected rather quickly, that usually means there is momentum gonna be built. At this current point of time, this is just because the new market's coming in right now. Ah, shit, look at the DAX, it's going straight up. And I had the perfect entry. I had literally the best entry, textbook entry. I just didn't move my limit orders higher when the VWAP went higher. This is so depressing. And now I'm gonna get stopped out on dollar CAD.
Gold. Yeah, the Aussie dollar is kind of strange since a week and a half or so.
So following on from those announcements from the German PMI as well from the SMB, seeing some strength in the euro versus the dollar as it's pushed just below 110 now at 109.96. As well, Euro Swiss is pushed higher now to 102.61.
Oh, did it? I haven't had a look at for a while on Euro Swiss. Oh, that's a nice opening candle. It's a perfect reverb reversal. Oh, this is actually the Swiss are getting weak because it also goes up on dollar Swiss. It went up on the opening, sorry. The cable is still below VWAP. That could be just volatility. Like I said, there is still a chance that I'm gonna get randomly stopped out. That would mean that your pound yen short would have worked, but yeah, the euro is actually pretty strong. Norwegian krona. Oh yeah, there should actually be some momentum because of the oil nonsense going on. That's a pretty move. Not as much as I expected, though. And
Gold.
people buying petrol at any price doesn't really matter. And the oil companies know it. That's why the gas prices went up worldwide last week for no reason, like literally no reason, because there was no supply problem.
Gold.
Looking again to Germany here and the industry group BDEW, demanding from the government to set an early warning alert on national emergency gas supply plan. Minutes away now to the top of the hour, waiting the preliminary March readings for the Eurozone PMIs, with manufacturing expected at 56.0 versus prior 58.2. A reading seen this morning of 46.7 to 58.7, while services PMI reading 54.2 expected versus prior 55.5. A range seen of 50.3 to 57.0. And finally for the composite PMI, 53.9 expected versus prior 55.5, again a range of 49.4 to 55.5 seen. As well, we turn to central bank at the top of the hour with the ECB publishing its economic bulletin. Additionally, the Norwegian central bank, the Norges Bank, said to be delivering a 25 basis point rate hike, pushing its main rate to 0.75% today. So this is in line with both the consensus and market pricing. Danske Bank note this morning the question will be signalling will be given about rates going forward, illustrated by the rate path in the new monetary policy report. So Danske think that Norges Bank will signal a continued gradual normalisation of monetary policy, and with the 3 more hikes seen this year and 2 next year.
Miércoles, jueves, todos, lunes, martes, ratones, pez, miércoles, jueves.
Euro dollar. Dollar index.
Just be aware, looking to a tweet from energy intelligence reporter Amina Bakar, noting that things are not looking good on the US nuclear deal. No real insight there or sources from Amina Bakar began a tweet noting that things are not looking good on the Iran-US nuclear deal. Well, further geopolitical news here in response from South Korea as they fired multiple ballistic and guided missiles after the North Korea ICBM launch overnight. So as we look to the Eurozone PMIs at the top of the hour, note here from HSBC, noting that in March, surging energy prices, which were adding to the already high factory gate prices, were compounded by the uncertainty caused by the conflict in Ukraine. So HSBC expect this to impact manufacturing negatively, with the PMI dropping to 53.9, as well with the elevated inflation also eating into households' purchasing power. Expect services PMI to decline to 52.5. Just getting a bit more clarity there on that South Korea headline as the Joint Chiefs of Staff report they test-fired missiles in response to North Korea's ICBM launch. Just beware comments from President Biden could be coming through imminently as he arrives for the NATO headquarter meeting. Three minutes ago now to the preliminary March readings for the Eurozone PMIs, with manufacturing 56.0, services PMI 54.3 expected, and composite 53.8. Additionally, in central banks, the ECB publishing their economic bulletin, while the Norges Bank is said to be hiking its deposit rates by 25 basis points, pushing it to 0.75%.
Pound yen. Aussie yen. Dollar CAD.
One minute to go now. 1 minute.
You've been trying so hard, giving all that you got, holding on hard to the past. Don't forget who you are. Is it worth it or not? It will never ever last. Oh, look up outside, the world is waiting. Could all be yours, is what I'm saying. Don't waste your life. He's not the one, 'cause he's playing with your heart. If only I could turn the hands of time, turn it back, just to see
10 seconds.
now. He's your big mistake. You need to know, just let him go. Just let him go.
57.0 for manufacturing PMI, services at 54.8, while composite at 54.5, a 25 basis point hike from Norges Bank as expected. To beat, that's the manufacturing PMI from the Eurozone at 57.0, that's better than expected 56. Services at 54.8, while composite at 54.5. Again, as expected, a 25 basis point hike from the Norges Bank.
Tell me why
They note that the rates will most likely be raised further in June.
been right there by your side. Look up outside, the world is waiting. Could all be yours.
So looking closer to the Eurozone PMI report, they note that growth slows and exports fall, business sentiment slumping and prices rising at a record rate as Russia has invaded Ukraine. So note that while the headline indicators on current output from the PMI survey may have beaten expectations, the detail reveals a significant darker economic outlook compared to February, signalling lower growth and higher inflation in the months ahead for the Eurozone. So again, just looking to the Norwich Bank there, as expected, a hike of 25 basis points to 0.75%, as the rate will most likely be raised further in June. Policy rate forecast is higher than they saw in their December report.
Dollar CAD.
Ooh, yeah. If only I could turn the hands of time, turn it back, just to see you smile. Please, your big mistake. You need to just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Pound yen.
Put your head high, girl, this time is run out. Now you gotta have some fun. So come and put your head high.
As well, at the top of the hour there, we did see the release of the ECB's economic bulletin for the month. Overall, they note that the invasion of Ukraine will have a material impact on economic activity and inflation through higher energy and commodity prices. I'll post the full report onto our board.
Pound yen. Dollar CAD. $1. Euro dollar. euro dollar. Pound yen.
Oh, my teeth are killing me. I cannot really think straight. I'm probably gonna take the loss and call this an early day. Oh, I went to the dentist this morning.
Pound yen.
No, I had an infection. I just cleaned it up, so pain is not a surprise.
Ten minutes away now to the bottom of the hour. We do have the preliminary March readings for UK PMIs, with the manufacturing PMI expected at 56.7 versus a par 58.0. Orders with a range 52.0 to 58.5. 58.0 expected versus par 60.5, a range of 53.2 to 61.5 seen. And finally, for the composite PMI reading from the UK, 57.8 expected versus par 59.9, a range seen of 53.0 to 60.8. Just beware, SMB's Jordan currently speaking following the rate decision this morning allowed the Swiss franc to strengthen in recent months as they're closely watching inflation differentials. So as well, at the bottom of the hour, we wait to hear from ECB's Elgerson delivering a keynote speech at the Institute for International and European Affairs. So the speech is entitled Towards Reflation and Outlook for Euro Area Inflation, where the text of the speech is expected to be released on the Banking Supervision website, again at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah.
DAX,
What's cracking now?
My teeth. Oh shit! A grenade exploded in my mouth.
What'd you have to get done?
Further sanctions announced here from the UK against Russia. Sanctions now include against Alpha Bank JCS.
Pound yen back towards VWAP. That's interesting. It's like it's failed to make a higher high. I wonder if it's going to start ranging slightly down now. I guess 160 is a pretty big psychological number for it to come back up.
DAX,
Oh, dollar cat's above again. Oh, DAX is at the VWAP. That almost looks like a head and shoulders to go down. But it's above. Gold, fuck gold. Oh, and euro pound's gone up, okay. Hmm.
pound yen,
Three minutes now until release of the March preliminary readings for UK PMIs, with manufacturing 57.0 expected, services 58.0 and composite 57.5 expected. Additionally, ECB's Elderson expected to be releasing a speech at the bottom of the hour.
Pound yen.
Sorry guys, I cannot really think straight. I'm gonna go back to the dentist. Holy shit, that hurts.
Yeah, look after your health, mate.